Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
Hey, welcome back, knife nerds, everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we're having a look at a modern interpretation of a traditional classic. I think that's the way we want to put it. The gentleman out there by the name of Benny, who started a knife company. He actually helped somebody else in the industry start a knife company, by the way, of Pena Knives. So if you guys are familiar with some of those beautiful kind of slip joints and traditional knives, he started his own company called Jack Wolf Knives, and that's what we're going to have a look at here today. The Jack Wolf Gunslinger. Incredible knife. Before we get to that, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a this kind of a story. I've had somebody reach out to me, just ask me, well, why do I have a coin there? Just send me a little email. And the reason I actually have this coin here, and this coin happens to be a Canadian silver dollar from 1970, the year I was born. I was born in Manitoba, Brandon, Manitoba, Canada, actually. And every baby who was born was given in the month of July, because that's Canada's centennial as well as Manitoba's, was given a silver dollar. And this one happens to be 1870 to 1970 is what it says on there. And I ended up getting this when I was born. And my dad had put it away, and he thought he lost it, and he was heartbroken over it. And then a couple of years ago, he came across it, and he was so thankful, and he gave it to me right away. And it's just something that I do to kind of honor my pop, as kind of a reminder. I thought I lost this too. I thought somebody stole it, and I was absolutely heartbroken. But I found it just recently, and you'd not believe the joy that I had. It just seeing this old hunk of metal. But it just reminds me of my dad and kind of the stuff that we've gone through. And in case you guys don't know out there, my dad is out here in Lethbridge. After a stroke, he's living here in Lethbridge. And it's been really fun having him around. All right, so let's go to the tabletop and let's have a look at this Jack Wolf's knife. And I think you're going to be happy with this. All right. So, you know, the boxing on it, modern interpretation, timeless designs. This one happens to be the Gunslinger Jack Fat Carbon Dark Matter Gold. It is actually made in China, made by Riat though. So I have one of my favorite knives right now is a Riat knife, and I absolutely love it. So one of the things, if you're not familiar with the Jack Wolf knives, each knife is branded with some artwork. And this one here is made by a fellow by the name of Jay Gonzo. So you can see in there, I'm not sure if you can read that, but if you see that there, it says Jay Gonzo. You can look for him on Instagram and stuff like that. You know, pause it if you want to have a look and contact these fellows. Really neat. Now, they come in a tube. A lot of the traditionals come in a tube. This one here happens to have its own microfiber. The other thing each Jack Wolf's knife has got is they've got themselves a little bit of a pog. With the Gunslinger, jackwolfknives.com. And so each of them come with a pog. Of course, you've got the little desiccant, don't eat the package. It's not good for you. And then you can see down in there, there's also some stickers that come with this particular one. Oh, that is a huge pill. Except these are supposed to be taken rectally. I'm just teasing. All right. And then, of course, we've got some... What an odd sound. All right, trust me, there is some stickers in there. I'm not going to worry about getting them out right this second. I'm going to drop that rectal pill in there. We'll put that away, and then we'll have a look at the knife, and that is for important here later. All right. Now, I have to admit, I have not carried this a whole bunch. It is something that I don't know. I just wanted to, I have carried it a little bit. I've done a tiny bit of cutting with it, but it's such a gorgeous knife. It's just one of these things. I actually have a kind of a nice expensive knife that I was carrying because I tried to keep all my knives as safe queens. But that one, I ended up damaging the clip on it just from rubbing into something, and I was so disheartened. And now I get some of these gorgeous knives here, and I get a little bit worried about carrying them now. So this one here happens to be one of those type of knives that I think is absolutely gorgeous, and I just don't want to mess around with it. So we've got the Jack Wolf's knives microfiber, of course, is branded there. But let's get on to this bugger right here. This thing here is absolutely gorgeous. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful looking knife. I mean, man, oh man. This guy, Benny, is, I think, a tremendous knife designer, and I think he's done a wonderful job with this. Ultra thin here. Let's go over some of the stuff here. Of course, we've got titanium bolsters. We've got the dark matter fat carbon. We've got the gold titanium back spacers. We've got gold titanium clip on it. Now, this clip can be removed if you want to carry this in a slip. You can take that off. It's got to go from the inside, and then you put this little tiny spacer in there, and it will take the place of that clip, and then that way you've got no little kind of hole there. Now, the one thing about this too is I was listening to another fella talking about this knife, and each one of these little plates are totally machined and sanded and filed to fit this knife. So you happen to lose this one, you can buy another one, but it won't guarantee the fit as how well this one is. Now, this one here, you can open a bunch of different ways, which I thought was really neat. Of course, it is a front flipper, and I'm not the master at opening up front flippers, but you can just open it up like that with the tab. The detent on here is crisp, and it fires right out. Now, it's also super drop shot too as well. It's on ceramic bearings. Now, you can also Spidey flick it, which is sail right there. And then if you decide, you could actually slow roll it. So it will open a whole bunch of different ways, but it is really, really super smooth. I mean, super, super smooth. It drops, like it's drop shut all the way. Little shake and she's completely shut. Now, just to kind of go over kind of just some size on this here too. So it is, closed length on this is 4.12 inches. So it is a fairly big knife. It's enough that I've got double XL hands and I can get a full 4-fingered grip on it. The blade length is 3.23 inches. And cutting length, of course, is 2.86. Now you have yourself a little bit of a sharpening trail there. And I really like the fact that that's another little, just one of those small things that I really like. It's not your traditional half moon type of sharpening trail. It's a little bit of a point, and I think that just suits the knife extremely fine. Now it is 3 millimeters thick as far as the blade stock. Now it is extremely thick. It is a wicked slicer. I did cut a tiny bit with this, and the sharpening at whoever does the sharpening for these knives does a fantastic job, because this here is sticky sharp. Now there is a really nice little hollow grind in there, so you know that this thing is going to be an absolute lightsaber. And I watched some videos of some folks out there really hammering into some cardboard with this. To me, this is such a light knife at 2.9 ounces that it just doesn't seem like it's, like it's a, well, I'm going to use this as robust, kind of probably open a can of paint. You're not going to do that because the tip is kind of nice and thin, but it is a wicked slicer, or as my friends from Boston would say, slicer. Now, the actual blade stock is CPM S90V, so it keeps an edge forever and a day. The Rockwell hardness on this is 6061 according to the company literature. So it's right in there. It's not so hard that it becomes brittle, but the S90V, like I said, the S90V keeps an edge for a huge amount of time. Now, this has got some hand satin blade here. So this is hand rubbed, this particular one here. You can see the line marks here. So it has also got some other things too, like it's on caged ceramic bearings. You've got your lock bar insert. It is a bolster lock with your titanium liners and your titanium bolsters. So you can see that the titanium runs completely through. Just a gorgeous knife and a gorgeous design. One of the things I probably would bother me a little bit more, but I close my knives now. A lot of my knives I close with my index finger here. You know what? And that part, so it's kind of easy to close that way. But if you want to close it with your thumb, this bolster here, there's no really lock bar cutout. There's a little bit one you can see inside there, but there's nothing there for your thumb. And it is, if you're one of those guys who does the thumb unlocks, you can miss it a little bit. It's not like some of the other knives that are out there that they do have that cutout where it's a really easy access. It is a little bit more access or harder access with your thumb, not so much with your forefinger or your index finger. If you're a pointy finger opener, then there's no problem with it whatsoever. But I just think that this is a super, super gorgeous knife. Let's have a quick look here. What am I carrying right now? I'm carrying the Hinderer Jurassic, so you can see, just to give you guys a size comparison, it's not a super tiny knife. Now, the Hinderer Jurassic is not a big monster. It's smaller than the XM18. I think, yes, it is smaller than the XM18, but it's still a beefy knife in its own right. So you can see actually how substantial this knife is here, the Gunslinger, and at 2.9 ounces. I mean, it's half the weight of this one here. Do you see my little purple dye job I did on this white fat carbon? Just to throw that out there. What else have I got handy here? Oh, don't really have any other kind of knives handy. So that just gives you an idea of what the size is. Am I going to keep this? I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not. This is a gorgeous knife. It is super smooth, but it's kind of one of those things that it's so nice I don't want it to be kind of a safe queen. I think I might if I were to keep this, it would be a safe queen, and I like to use my knives, so I think I'm going to put this one down the road, and I think I'm going to put this in somebody else's hands just so I can kind of replenish the channel, just to add some stuff. So I don't know what. I'm going to do a little bit of research on this in the secondary market. This is $349 US at the guns at a lot of the retailers out there. So you can go right to the Jack Wolf Knives website, and it's $481. I would imagine that's the MSRP, and the street price is around $350 on these. There is different versions of these available out there. They're pretty scarce though. I think there's 4 or 5 different versions of the Gunslinger Jack. This one happens to be the dark fat, the dark matter gold fat carbon. But there is some other ones out there. There's an ironwood version. There's a version that's completely titanium, and it's got a lock bar cutout. There's some purple, a couple purple ones. It's just really, really super gorgeous knife, and I'm so happy that I had a chance to carry this for a little bit. And I think this is something that if you're a traditional collector, but you were kind of maybe, because most of the traditional knives out there are 1095 steel. You got to sharpen them all the time. They won't hold an edge, and the centering on them is not super perfect, where this one here is bang dead center. And every one that I have seen of these knives have been dead center, including the slip joints. So the fit and finish on these is absolutely bar none perfectamundo. I've not seen any tiny little gaps here or anything like that. By the way, do you guys know who used to say perfectamundo? And for all you old guys out there, you old buggers like me, it was the Fawns. Man, I miss the Fawns. I miss. Can you guys think of anybody nowadays that this is kind of a little off topic, just a little bit of a kind of a thing, a trivia. Can you think of anybody, maybe Taylor Swift, who moves society like the Fawns did? Just a quick trivia. When the Fawns got his library card on Happy Days, people looking for library cards, it went up 40% across the United States. So I know that Taylor Swift did that with registering to vote, so I think she's about the only one who has that kind of fame that the Fawns did. So just a little bit of an aside there, but yeah. So if you guys like what you saw here, don't forget to hit the old subscribe button, as well as thumbs up. Give me the like and share too as well. It helps the algorithm. Just want to make sure this channel grows as big as it possibly can, so I can bring you guys some more stuff. All right, please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.